Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
All right, it is 11:04 on The Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Everything I just said previously without the mic on, I'll say it again. We've got lots to get to. Game day here. We got the Oilers opening up tonight on the road against LA. Obviously, Huss from WST is going to join us. Winnipeg Jets game 2 after a huge third period. I see Jake's over in the chat. Jake, I did put together a little parlay today. I forgot to send it to you. I wasn't sure if you were watching this morning. But McDavid over 1.5 points, Draisaitl goal, Oilers money line will be the EST parlay for tonight, Jake. So if you want to throw that together, that would be great. McDavid over 1.5 points, Draisaitl goal, and Oilers money line tonight. Jake will get that done. We'll get it up. It'll be on the exclusives page over at coolbet.com. And if you've not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, please use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to 200 smackaroos. We've got lots to recap from the weekend. Justin Thomas in a playoff, winning the RBC Heritage, his first win in a few years. And I got to get Huss's take on WrestleMania because I did chime in last night. I watched the main event, and I was underwhelmed. I'm not even a wrestling guy, so we'll have to find out what Huss has to say about that. And obviously, we'll be setting up the Oilers and Jets, a lot of it today. NHL playoffs underway, NBA playoffs underway, WrestleMania this past weekend, NFL draft this week. Lots to get to. So let's bring in Huss from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Huss, what's going on, my man? How was the weekend?
I mean, it was amazing.
I was really hoping you'd be in your all-white outfit, to be honest with you.
You know what? I was thinking about it. I did wear it on the I don't know. I was just working around. I figured wearing white stuff all day. I mean, it was about plus 20,000 for me to make it through Saturday without getting shit all over my full white outfit. I somehow managed to do it. Although, frankly, I was going to get a jet dog. I'm like, no way.
Don't do that.
The disaster waiting to happen. So I'm locked and loaded for tonight, but I'm hoping I'll have plenty of opportunities to wear this white stuff. What a start for the Jets.
Great third period. I watched most of that game. I was in here on, because that was Saturday. Yeah, I was in here on Saturday doing some stuff, and I had it on, so it was kind of uninterrupted. I could just focus on it. And it just sort of seemed like they started to take that game over, and the Blues just simply didn't have an answer, Huss. And just, we talked about a little bit with Dreger this morning, because you're looking on social media after 2 periods and people are like, classic playoff heli. Like these goals are floating in. And how big was that third period, do you think, for what the Jets are trying to accomplish this year? I felt like having that period in game 1 goes a long way for the group.
Oh yeah, dude. I was saying the same thing all weekend in conversations with friends. Like that's pretty much what they've done all year long. And I mean, I still think back to that game 2 weeks ago when the Blues came into Winnipeg having won 12 in a row. And I mean, the Jets put them in a locker. I mean, they had 15 shots in the entire game. I believe both Ehlers and Velarde were out for that game as well. But yeah, I mean, listen, there were a few nervous sighs around the building with a couple of the goals that went in. Now, listen, they were big league snipes. I mean, Thomas's shot and Kairu's shot were literally perfect top corner. Would you like to maybe be out a little bit further to prevent that?
I think that would be the criticism, just a little too deep, right?
Yeah. And then listen, the Sundqvist goal was just kind of bad luck. I mean, Luke Schenn makes the block, whacks at it. It goes right to Sundqvist all alone in front of the net, and he roofed it. Maybe the biggest play for Hellebuck was in the second period when the Jets were down 3-2. Kairu caught Sandberg in a kind of flat-footed and just went around him, and he was in all alone clear-cut breakaway, and Hellebuck stopped that, and you just felt, okay, this is exactly what he needed, what the Jets needed. And then really from that moment on, they carried the play. Like, I'm in the one end where the Jets were shooting at in the third period, and it literally felt like they were right in front of us the entire 20 minutes.
Yeah, the whole time they were down there.
I mean, St. Louis had 2 shots in the third period. So the Alex Iafallo goal to tie it, I think, let everybody relax a little bit. And then obviously, I mean, that set play off the face-off for the winner to Kyle Connor was, I mean, man, my ears were still hurting after after the game. It was so loud in there. And then obviously Lowry got the winner. So yeah, I mean, a very 2025 Jets-like performance. And now listen, they won the first game in the last 2 series and lost in 5. So I don't think anyone's getting ahead of themselves, but there's something about winning a game, and then there's the way you win a game. And I'm going to be really interested to see what St. Louis has coming out, because it kind of feels like they took their best shot early on, but didn't have what it took to get through 60 minutes. So very, very big one tonight here in Winnipeg for game 2. And I guess for you guys, you finally get a chance to get on with it. What was the weekend like for Oiler fans? I mean, you're seeing these games start and realize, like, okay, it's great that the playoffs are here, but we need a taste for our club.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit worse even for Tampa, Florida, because they don't begin till tomorrow, right? Those fans have to wait another day.
Saw that today.
Yeah.
I was going, like,
it doesn't start till Tuesday, and so it's kind of weird. You know, not the worst thing in the world, actually, over the week. I mean, we would have loved like a Saturday game if Saturday night would have been great, but a couple extra days rest for a team that's been banged up. Like, I don't think anybody can complain about this series starting maybe a day later than we thought it was going to. So, you know, people are excited. We're going to be at Boston Pizza Westgate tonight, which should be a lot of fun. 6:30 pregame show start there to get us ready for this one. And we'll dive into that. We'll obviously dive into game 2 of the Jets. We'll take a look at this NHL slate today. But Huss, I can't wait any longer to hear what you thought of the WrestleMania over the weekend, because, you know, I tuned in like I usually do for major events. Give me the main event of the major events. And I don't, it just seems so weird to, like, it just, I don't know. And then Travis Scott comes out. You're like, oh, The Rock's going to come out now. And then he doesn't. And it sort of ends. And I don't know, like, as a wrestling guy, how do you recap that?
Yeah, I will preface this with saying wrestling fans on the internet are some of the whiniest people. They're always complaining. I mean, there's takes, and usually I'm just like, oh God, like all the business during the whole Cody Rhodes era where everyone was mad. I didn't have time for any of that. I am 100% behind all of the consternation about the main event last night. It was entirely underwhelming, considering what happened last year at WrestleMania 40. I think the possibilities and the potential of some of the characters that were involved in the storyline. And listen, the Travis Scott thing, first of all, if you're coming down to interfere in a match, don't take a 5-minute walk down the
like, it was like they just put it on pause. I was just like, what are we doing here?
That was not well executed for sure. And the bottom line is, I think we were all expecting a bunch of other different things to happen, and then it was just sort of done. Like, it was a pretty lame way for Cena to get 17. I don't know a lot of people that really care about Travis Scott's involvement. Now maybe that is, maybe that is a direct marketing ploy to, because he is a huge star from what I know. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Well, that's the thing. I know nothing about him either, so I don't know how big a star he is. I know he's married to a Kardashian or something.
Oh, is he? Okay. So
that's what somebody said this morning. They texted, I know he's a rapper, but like, I don't know how he, like, where's the tie-in? Like, why is he there? I mean, of all the people that you could have had interrupt this, why is it that guy again?
Well, and I guess this goes back to what happened earlier with when Cena made the heel turn. I was stunned that The Rock wasn't anywhere to be found.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the original plan, that The Rock was going to be there and either he couldn't get there or something like that happened. I don't know. But like last night overall, and again, I didn't really see Saturday. I'll go back and check that out afterwards, just because I was at the game and then, wasn't really, we were watching Dallas and Colorado and all that. But last night was really good. Like just about everything. That women's match at the start was incredible. Dirty Dom Mysterio winning the IC thing in that 4-way was awesome. But you're really going to be judged by the biggest event on the show. And for me, it left all of us wanting a little bit more. But you know what? Triple H, I'll give him credit. He's nailed it just about every time with their creative decisions and all that. I get it right now that it seems like we're all wanting more, but maybe that is just the start of something to make.
Well, where do you think it goes? I'm curious with that. What do you think the next source? Where do they go? Where's it going?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, Cody's not going anywhere, and then The Rock is going to be getting into this mix at some point as well. Now, whether this ends up with Cena fighting The Rock, or whether there's another Cody match, I mean, there'll be SummerSlam, I guess, will be big. Now, that could be a rematch between Cody and Cena. I have a hard time believing Cena doesn't come back to basically being a good guy for the fans before it's all said and done. And maybe that's what has to happen with him going up against The Rock. But I don't know. It's the Raw after Mania tonight. I know we're all going to be locked in on playoffs, so we won't really be paying too close attention to it. But they are just, I think they're just getting going with this. That's going to really dominate the final 6 months that John Cena is going to be on WWE before it's all said and done. And
Brandon texts in and says,
right now,
what's that?
If Coolbet had a line right now,
yeah,
I know this was the last time ever. I would say that the odds on John Cena at WrestleMania one more time, like I would say there'd be a minus before it. Like,
you
I
think
know
so, hey?
This is the last ride and everything like that. I got a hard time imagining that was the final time that he'll be in WrestleMania, personally. So we'll see. What are the
Brandon texts in and goes, guys, my kids like Travis Scott, and they still thought the main event was a joke. So those people who like him, I think you make a great point on get down there. Like if you're coming down to run interference in a match, you don't get this big like intro that you're at the beginning of a match. Like it just, I don't know. It was wild to me. Marshall was happy. He likes John Cena, so he was happy to see John Cena win. But I was just like, man, that seems.
Does Marshall feel that John Cena's a bad guy now, or does he know?
He's a little bit into it. He doesn't understand the huge heel turn and things like he watched The Rock and the turn and that stuff, but it's not like he's watching Raw and SmackDown all the time and stuff. But he just likes Cena from like social media and stuff.
Hustle, loyalty, respect, do it for the kids. I mean, that was Cena forever. So it is hard. And that's the thing. There were still tons of people cheering Cena when it happened last night, even though Cody Rhodes is super popular as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. You know what? While we're here, let me just see. I think I did make a few WrestleMania wagers. I'm not sure if any of them came in. I had Penta for the I had Io Sky. She won. I had Seth Rollins. He won. The El Grande Americano was pushed because I think they had someone else come in the El Grande Americano mask. And then Penta did not win. And then, the Sin City street fight last night with Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. I went on Priest just because he was a 5-1 underdog, and I thought there was definitely a spot that he could have won. He didn't. That was another good, great one from last night. So a couple nice wins. Io was even money. Seth Rollins was -120. I kind of focused on the ones that were a little bit closer. And then, of course, the push with El Grande Americano.
The push with El Grande Americano. Welcome to the Lock Shop, everybody. Dusty and Huss with you. Just elsewhere from the National Hockey League over the weekend, and we'll set up tonight's games here, obviously. But what do you think of Toronto beating Ottawa the way that they did and what that could mean for the series?
Ottawa didn't really look like they were ready for prime time. They were far less composed than the Leafs were. They took some bad penalties, and the Leafs made them pay. Like, if you're going to run around like that, Allmark better be ready to make a few big saves, and your PK better be ready to kill some penalties, and they were not able to do that. Like, what was funny about it, though, was that a good portion of the play, Ottawa was right there. I mean, I think they had I'll have to check the shot clock, but I'm pretty sure they outshot them. And, you know, despite the fact, what was it? The second period was when things really sort of got away from them. But again, it was because of the PK. You know, that power play goal. Well, they had two power play goals, the Tavares one and the Willie one.
Yep.
But beyond that, they actually played pretty well at 5-on-5. They just weren't there enough. And man, when they scored that goal in the third period, it was 4-2. I'm like, okay. And then boom, Riley gets one right back. So Allmark's definitely got to be better. I think the Sens will, you know, now that they've all played their playoff game, they're used to that atmosphere and everything like that. I think they'll be ready to go. I mean, listen, the Leafs are a better team. They've got more star power. They've got more high-end talent. And they were clinical in their finishing last night. So good on them. But I do think Ottawa has enough in it to win some games, to make it a series. Now, whether they can get game 2 in Toronto, we'll see. But I can't wait to see what things look like when they get back to Ottawa, because I think that'll be I mean, listen, there'll be a lot of Leaf fans there too. It'll be a very mixed crowd. But it will be wild. But hey, from the Leaf standpoint, you got to be happy. I mean, they went in and their best players all got off to great starts in the playoffs, which I think is big for them, considering the baggage that team and especially those players carry around. So yeah, good start for the Leafs in the Battle of Ontario, and we'll see if the Sens can have a bit more of a composed answer in game number 2.
Nielsen Huss with it. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We'd very much appreciate that, and sub to the channel if you haven't already. And if you haven't given a Huss a sub over on WST, Winnipeg Sports Talk, go do that as well. 4 games tonight, Huss. We get the Habs opening up in Washington against the Capitals, the Blues and the Jets game 2, Avs and Stars game 2, and Oilers and Kings. So before we get to Oilers, Kings, and Blues Jets, Montreal plus 153 on the road tonight in Washington. Washington minus 182. The total here is set at 6.5, and the Caps on the puck line minus 135 or plus 135 at minus 1.5. Washington a little bit banged up here. Not going to have everybody, but Huss, your thoughts on the Habs at plus 153 as the dog?
I am not a believer in the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, I think they might get one here, but that's about it.
I'll just throw that out right now. I don't think they can defend at a level that you need to survive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They've got some exciting players. Suzuki's really good. I mean, they'll find a way to score a goal or two. But unless Samuel Montembeault turns into the second coming of Carey Price, I just don't see how a team built the way Washington is, with what they've accomplished this season, doesn't steamroll the Habs. So, I mean, you said you think they might get one. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I think I predicted Washington in 5. It's kind of tough to just assume a sweep, but I'm not sure that this is close. And you know, it's an interesting comparison to the Sens last night playing the Leafs. Like the Leafs and the Capitals, I mean, neither of these teams have had great recent playoff success. Obviously, the Caps won the Cup back in the 18 season, but they're still pretty removed from there. There's not many guys outside of Ovi and Karlsson that are still on the team from there. But listen, I think Spencer Carberry did such a great job of preparing this team to go out and win consistently all year long, and they never really came off that except for right at the end of the season when they basically clinched the East. So the record is over, which dominated so much of the Capitals conversation this year. Now it's time to get out and win some playoff games. They earned the best spot in the playoffs, if you ask me, with the most advantageous matchup. They're in the division with probably the easiest path. I mean, with full due respect to Carolina.
Nothing against Carolina and Jersey, yeah.
No, Carolina's good, and they looked really good in their game, although not many people. That was a clear 8 of 8 first-round series.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't
at the bottom of the barrel.
Planning my schedule around game 1 of Carolina Jersey. But that being said, I mean, it really did look like Carolina took it to them. But I'm kind of expecting the same here with Washington. I mean, it would be cool for Habs fans, of which there are many, to get off to a good start. Maybe that's the key. Maybe you do catch them sleeping, as they're bringing a few guys back early on. They'll certainly have that energy. But if you ask me, this series is kind of destined to be relatively quick. Maybe the Habs can get one in front of their home fans in game 3 or 4. But I like Washington, and I kind of am surprised that they're not a bigger favorite.
This is what I was originally going to ask you. Are you not? Does it seem weird that they're not like a minus 200 favorite in this game, at least?
Listen, the Jets are a bigger favorite against the Blues than the Caps are against the Habs.
Yeah.
That to me I don't know. Maybe that's just a praise for Winnipeg, which was nice, but yeah, to me, the Caps, I don't even mind maybe the puck line on the Caps tonight, to be perfectly honest with you, to come out and
I think it's really good value on a standalone play. Plus 135. Should note that Logan Thompson was the first goalie off the ice this morning ahead of game 1. So he looks like he's going to be good to go as well for Washington. I don't think it's now. Big Uke over in the chat, I believe, is saying Caps haven't really played a meaningful game in a long time. Habs have been playing hot playoff hockey for weeks. So Big Uke's kind of thinking that maybe Montreal shocks Washington tonight, and maybe that's what some people are thinking, and that's why that number is where it's at. But I don't.
If Montreal was playing playoff hockey last week, explain losing to Chicago at home when you could clinch a playoff spot. They had 4 chances to do it, and they didn't get it until Carolina iced an AHL roster in that final game. Like, I'm sorry, they just don't. And listen, I know everyone loves Lane Hudson, and all the Lane Hudson highlights we see of him, like whirling around in the offensive zone, are really fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a little sloppy at the other end. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch him try and clear Protas out in front of the net tonight.
No, I don't think Protas is playing. I think he's out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Let me double check on him. He's been listed as out here for a little while now.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Let's see. Protas skated he had a skate cut on his foot. Skated briefly yesterday morning under the watchful eye of training staff in a non-contact jersey. So let's see here.
Looks like he's the only guy that's really out. They've got Baxter, Moshe, and Milano all on the IR. Vari's day-to-day, they say, and Protas is out.
Light skating even this morning, so yeah, he's not going to go. And we don't have any confirmation on Thompson, but he was the first one.
That's all.
First one off the ice tonight, so that's usually a good sign.
Hey,
so.
Did you see Ovi on McAfee?
I did not.
So Ovi connects with McAfee, and he's on the team plane. And he goes, like, he's doing like a FaceTime call or whatever with him. He goes, "Hey, you want to meet the guys?" And then he just goes through, here's Chikrin, here's...
He didn't do all of them, did he?
Here's Doobie. Yeah, you literally did. He literally did the whole thing. He just went up and down. And he goes, "Oh, here's the big guy, Tom Wilson." And, McAfee's a Pittsburgh guy. Yeah. And he channeled. He goes, "Hey, here's Tom Wilson." He goes like this, and you just hear McAfee go, "You son of a bitch!" like total wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
Wrestling run for him, who's been such an enemy of the Penguins over the years. It was a very, very funny clip. But yeah, listen, that second line of Dubois, Wilson, and McMichael, they're going to be a problem. They are going to be a big problem for Montreal. And listen, Beauvillier, big chance for him to get some time with. Yeah,
he's in that spot right now where Protas usually would be. Former Hab Larzeller centering the third line with Mangiapane and the Ryan Leonard kid. So that's a line that should be pretty good as well, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see where that one goes tonight. But I'm with Huss. I think Washington in a little sort of tidy 2-goal or more victory tonight, plus 135 is probably the best value there. Does Dallas figure it out at home tonight, Huss, or does Colorado go up 2-0 on the road?
All right, let's talk about this. Did you see much of that game on Saturday?
I didn't see much of that game on Saturday, no.
Okay. I actually ended up feeling very sorry for the Stars.
Oh, no.
Which is weird. Well, they were the better team for basically, I didn't get there right at the start of the game. I caught sort of the end of the first period and then into the second period. And I thought Dallas was playing great. I mean, considering what they're dealing with right now, no Heiskanen and with Robertson, I mean, it was tight. They weren't giving them a lot. The goal that got Colorado on the board was legit one of the most bizarre goals I've ever seen in my life.
I know the one you're talking about.
It was kicked in, and someone referred to it as a bicycle kick because Lekkonen's getting pulled down. Granted, he has no idea what is happening, but his skate goes up in the air, makes contact with the puck, and perfect kick, top corner. I mean, that's what you'd see Ronaldo do on a penalty kick. I mean, it was that strong and firm right into the top corner. It absolutely was kicked. I mean, I think you could say it was somewhat of a kicking motion. Zero chance he did it on purpose, and that's why the goal stood. So that was a really tough break for Dallas to get down. And then the next one was just an absolute knuckler or a changeup that hit a couple ones. And then when it was 2-0, that was it was go time for Colorado. I think they had a couple of empty netters, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to pull this up. But this was not Colorado's. I mean, I think a lot of people, if they didn't see the game, they're just looking, oh, it was 5-1. Oh, they killed them. Well, that wasn't really the case. I mean, Hintz got that goal to make it 2-1. They were really pressing. The Taves goal was the killer, and then they got a couple empty netters, or an empty net and one right afterwards. So we're seeing the reason why Colorado was the favorite. I mean, they've got McKinnon. Nate Cash is an absolute stud right now. Ranton was a little quiet in that game. They're going to need a lot more from him. Yeah, he was -2. He had 3 shots on goal. I still think Colorado's going to win this just because Dallas is so far off from what they're going to need to be roster-wise, I think, to win the Central Division. But I think you can make an argument that they kind of deserved a better fate, at least not to lose by 4.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't matter if you lose by 4 or you lose by 1. So
just a 2-1 game with 12 minutes left.
Totally.
Or, 10 minutes left. Different than a 5-1 final.
Go to triple overtime every night and have it go 7 games.
So you like Dallas to bounce back then? Plus 125 tonight, money line?
You know what? I would have some time for that, actually. I would have a lot of time for that. I mean, if they go down 2-0 at home going to Colorado, this could be a really short series. So
yeah, this is a big one. I mean, if you're the home team and you drop both at home, I mean, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble at that point. Like Dallas, not going to say you absolutely have to have this one, but pretty darn close.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for Dallas actually at plus 125. I think this one should be more closer to a pick'em than the Avalanche at minus 147.
Just want to throw this out there because we're going to get to our Blues and Jets and the Oilers and Kings. But if Jake's watching over at Coolbet, so where do we come out on Dallas plus 125 money line, Caps minus 1.5 plus 135, 429 for a nice little lock shot parlay there. Pre-boost.
You know what? Yeah, why don't we do that? Yeah, and that just takes us out of the mix on the other 2 games.
Gets us our number that we need.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's good.
You got a puck line on the Capitals. I like it.
All right, so let's do that. Washington puck line, Stars money line, plus 429. I was just looking over on the exclusives page. Edmonton, I've got that little parlay put together. McDavid over 1.5 points, a Draisaitl goal, and Edmonton to win game 1, plus 525. So if you believe in the big boys tonight to get the job done for the Oilers, McDavid, 2+ points, Leon with a goal, Oilers to win, plus 525. If you want to ride on that, go to coolbet.com, click on exclusives, and you will see that page. Our Washington-Dallas parlay will pop up in the combo cards, and I'm glad we brought up combo cards because I did want to look at this one here. This is a good one tonight. Connor McDavid with a point and Jokic over 24.5 points, plus 111. I like that one a lot there. Clippers Nugs game 1 was awesome. Went to overtime. Jokic is a monster. So Jokic over 24.5 points and McDavid with a point. Boosted from -123 to +111. Something to look at. Something to look at there. All right, Huss, you want to go Oilers or you want to go Jets first? What do you think?
Let's go Oilers.
Game one tonight. It'll be interesting to see. There's been a lot of talk, obviously, here, having beaten the Kings 3 straight years in the postseason. How much different is this one going to be? This blew my mind today. A couple of stats I was looking at in our show today. Anze Kopitar played 81 games this year. How many shots on goal do you think Kopitar had, Huss? Plays a ton. He's out there a bunch.
200.
98. He had 98 shots on goal in 81 games this year.
How many goals?
21. Shot at like 21% clip. Had 21 goals on 98 shots, but he only had 98 shots. Kopitar, which just blows.
On the mental note on those shot prop.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. What are we?
Paid Kopitar.
Player shots. Kopitar, where is he? He might not even have a line, considering. Actually, I don't see him. He's not up there. He's not. I mean, it makes sense. He's like just over a shot per game this year, which is crazy. The other thing that we looked at, because obviously everybody's concerned about Darcy Kemper, and Kemper's had a great year. He's going to fall short in the Vezina voting, obviously, to Hellebuck. Probably finished third in voting behind Hellebuck and Vasilevsky, but he's had a good year. But I went back and looked at the goaltenders that the Kings rolled into the last 3 series, right? And Jonathan Quick was one of them. He had a 9-10. Cam Talbot was another one. He had a 9-13. And then Korpisalo, who they've played in the playoffs as well, had a 9-21. So goaltenders in Los Angeles have good save percentages, and it hasn't led to a victory yet. So I don't know if we should be as scared about Kemper as some people in town, myself included at times, have made out to be. Like, the Oilers have found ways to get to these Kings goalies who've had over 9-10 save percentages each of the last 3 years that they've played them. So I don't know if this year is going to be any different. I mean, the guys that concern me are Kopitar, who doesn't shoot, Kempe, and Byfield's been good lately, which concerns me a little bit as well. But you're rolling out McDavid and Draisaitl, who have not played much over the last 3-4 weeks. I mean, as far as having some rest, depending on how banged up they really were, Huss, I mean, those guys should have a lot of gas in the tank to start this series, which I think could go a long way. So what do you think about a game 1 on the road in LA? And have you been able to figure out why LA is so good at home? Because it's not like the building's absolutely rocking all the time.
No. It is simply, well, I mean, I guess the home record, that's great question.
Yeah.
Good teams are good at home. So, I mean, I think the Kings tick off both of those boxes. They were really good at home, though, compared to what they did on the road. I mean, I can tell you that the LA Kings are the only team the Jets didn't beat this year. And in the games that they played, it was really low event hockey. I mean, I'm not sure the Jets got more than 20, 21 shots in any of those games this year. So they do have the ability to shut teams down pretty well. There are teams, and then there's teams that have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on them. So I have a hard time imagining that they are not going to get theirs tonight, especially considering the amount of rest that they've had to get ready for it. Like, it's not going to be easy to win games in LA. I kind of think tonight might be the night, though, for the Oilers if they're going to go in. Like, I would suggest that tonight there's as good of a chance of them winning a game on the road as there is in any game of this series. And if they can do that, they immediately get home ice back, and they can put themselves in the driver's seat with the possibility of, if you win tonight and you just hold serve at home, you get this thing done in 6. So as much as I think this series really is a toss-up, and I get why the series number has dropped to now that it's relatively close, I like the Oilers at plus 109 tonight, to be honest with you.
When it's moved, because it was like when we were doing our show this morning, Huss, they were like minus 104 and like minus 114 or something like that.
Oh, really?
So this is moving towards the Kings. So the number's getting better on the Oilers as we work our way through the day. I don't know if it gets much better than plus 109. Personally, I don't think it should. But if you're looking for value on the Oil right now. This might be the time to get it.
I was just about to say, yeah, this absolutely is. Now, it looks like I'm just looking at these lines. So McDavid, Hyman, and Brown, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin, Nuge, Skinner, Kapanen, Adam Henrique, Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark.
Yeah, to be determined. Evander Kane is out for game 1. That's what was said yesterday. There's a chance Frederick could play tonight, and he would go in. He would go in for Kapanen, I would assume. Okay. And then on the back end, look, it's not good anyway because Ekholm's been hurt. He's out.
That is brutal.
It's a big loss. And then Stetcher is hurt. And Josh Brown is not a guy you want playing for your team in the playoffs. Their other option would be Cam Dineen, and then Klingberg somehow might factor in here at some point. But it's going to be a heavy Nurse Bouchard Kulak Wallman game, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do we have an over-under on minutes for those guys? Because
those 4 guys are going to all play over 20 minutes tonight. Guaranteed. Lock that thing in.
Josh Brown. I've never even heard of Josh Brown.
Yeah, no, nobody here had either. He got a 3-year deal in the offseason for like $1 million. He's been buried most of the year.
One way?
No, well, he's been buried. They haven't been paying him. But it's I don't know why a guy like he's brought in for toughness, I guess, but he can't play more than 10 minutes tonight. There's no way. Like, I'd be stunned if he gets more than 10 minutes, unless they somehow get up and they're got it on cruise control, which I highly don't see happening really at any point in this series for either team. So I guess bottom line is I think they miss Troy Stetcher, if you can believe it. So they're going to need to get him back. But at plus 109, I'm pretty confident they're going to get one of these 2 games in LA. And, McDavid and Draisaitl healthy, rested. Hopefully they can get it done tonight.
He's got 300 games in the NHL. I guess there's so many Browns. Although he has bounced around. He's basically been a bottom pairing guy. Florida, Panthers, the Panthers, Sens, 6 games with the Bruins. The last 2 years he was with the Coyotes, which is basically the NHL's version of being in the witness protection program.
Yeah.
And then he has got 10 games this year with the Oil and spent half the season with Bakersfield playing.
Yeah, he's not a guy you want, like, zero confidence in him in the lineup tonight, which is why I'm assuming those top 4 guys will probably play all over 20. Emberson will probably play like 14, 15, and Brown will be, as somebody suggested, Rod Z says 8 minutes and 37 seconds is what Josh will play. Dirk is asking,
what you worry about is they get out there, a bad icing or whatever, and then all of a sudden the Kings last change get to throw their big
in a key moment. And so they're going to have to shelter him big time. Dirk's asking, how is Kane not playing? Is this all gamesmanship from Knobloch? Well, they won't be on the ice for the morning skate for a little while here still. So we'll have all of that during the Oil stream, but Kane apparently is very close. We'll see.
Yeah. Elliot said on 32 Thoughts, and again, he was just sort of speculating on this, but he usually has a pretty good idea of things that he's speculating on. He said that if you noticed, Seguin played in game 82. Who else came back? Somebody else came back and played in game 82, then played on the weekend. But Kane not playing and didn't play game 82. And I think there may have been a sort of agreement that, guys, if your guys are playing game 80, if you're in game 82, they can go in game number 1. If not, you know what? The optics are bad.
You're saying like around the league, a little like,
Yeah. So I'm not sure whether this is sort of an agreement amongst the teams that was the case, or Evander. What a wild thing for Evander. Doesn't play a single game in the regular season. Then he's going to come back and, hopefully he'll be good for you guys. Can he play defense? Can he put an Ekholm jersey on?
It'd be nice if he could play right shot D.
That's my biggest worry about the Oilers. And we focus so much on Connor and Leon for obvious reasons. But that trade, of all the ads the Oilers have made in the last few years as they've been, building and obviously going all the way to the Cup final, to me, the Ekholm acquisition from Nashville was maybe the most shrewd, under the radar, impactful deal
Brilliant
that
move.
we've seen in the league in the last couple of years. I mean, it is right up there with the best ads. And I mean, the good thing for the Oilers right now is Darnell Nurse seems to be in such a different place this year than he was last year. I mean, every time I do the show here, I look at the chat, people were running him out of town 12 months ago. And now no one cares that he's making a lot of money because he's holding it down and doing big minutes. But man, when you like to think about going through the West and the Kings and Vegas and whoever wins the Central, and then like to not be able to have Ekholm out there eating 22, 23, 24 minutes up. I mean, it's a huge hole in the lineup. So, and I mean, Wallman's been day to day. They expect him to go though.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go. It looks like he's one of those guys. I think that, you know, if it was the playoffs, he could have played, a week ago. So, all right. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. There's over 200 of you watching. We got like 31 likes. So unacceptable. Hammer the thumbs up for us. No reason we probably couldn't. There's no reason we probably couldn't pull a hundo right now. Like, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. A couple of things. Big Uke over there says, I would not be shocked if they say save Kane for game 3 in Edmonton. He leads a huge hit in the first shift and the building explodes. And Miller Time 1980 says, guys, you need at least 7 solid defensemen for a playoff run. The Oilers don't have 5. So yeah, the blue line will obviously be by a short-handed committee, and hopefully they're able to get that done. Okay, what about Winnipeg in game 2 tonight, Huss? Be nice to leave the peg with a 2-0 cushion, head out on the road, maybe snag 1, come home and finish it in 5, which is what many of us predicted. How much do you think St. Louis, like, how much of a kick in the balls do you think it was? Give them your best shot for half a game and then still coming out the way it did.
It was a steel toe.
Yeah,
was what it was. That was the steel toe. Like
that's a great reference.
I mean, listen, they played really well in the first period, I thought, and the Jets. Listen, it wasn't like they were nervous or stage fright or anything like that, but I mean, the feeling out process was, two teams that weren't giving each other very much. And obviously they killed it on the power play. I mean, those 2 power play goals were big. I mean, the Robert Thomas shot was awesome. And then, Kyrou getting that one at the beginning of the second period. But when you see a team exert their will on another and completely dominate a game that was that close, the way the Jets did in the second half, but particularly the third period, it's got to make you wonder what you have to do to win the game. And here's the other thing. I think they know that the fact that they scored 3 on the first 10 on Hellebuck, that was their game to win in Winnipeg. I love the Jets tonight. I mean, I would be in a positive state of mind regardless. I mean, if they lost, I'd be like, listen, they're going to get it done. They have to. You can't go back down 2-0. But the Quest, it does have a little bit of a feeling. And again, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but like the Minnesota series in 2017-18, like when they went to the conference finals, they were the favorite. They came out, close game. Joe Morrow ended up getting the winner late, and then they never really looked back. They dropped 1 game in Minnesota. They wrapped it up in 5, and it seems like that's somewhat on the table for the team right now. So, but hey, I don't want to take anything away from St. Louis. They've got some really talented offensive players that can make you pay if you make a mistake, but when the Jets are on their game, playing the way they did in the third period and the way they've done so much this season, you're just not getting many opportunities. And listen, to their credit, they made the most of them early on. But the Jets are rolling 4 lines in as a relentless a fashion as any team you're going to see right now in the NHL. And it makes it maybe a little more difficult when you're looking at point props and stuff. I mean, I'm not sure whether Connor, Scheifele, and Iafallo were going to carry them as much as they did with the 3 goals in the last game. But the fourth line was running. They got a goal. Adam Lowry obviously got a goal. And we'll see what happens with the second line. They didn't get on the board, but I thought Cole Perfetti was really good in that game. He's playoff ready. So, the Jets can really help their cause right now, with a win tonight to give them a chance to make this a bit of a shorter series. Because what's happening in Dallas and Colorado, hopefully our pick is right, and that goes 1-1, and we can see sort of a longer series. Because let's face it, you win 2 on the road, like Colorado has the opportunity tonight, that could be a short series on the other way. So for Winnipeg, I like Kyle Connor to score again tonight. He's got a great track record against Jordan Binnington, and he is absolutely rolling. And we all call him KFC. Well, the Colonel, I believe, is going to be in the building tonight, cheering on Kyle Connor. So,
what do you mean the Colonel? What are you talking about? Like
Colonel Sanders.
Like, is this a bit with KFC? Is that what it is? Is that? Oh, I love it. And he's in all white, obviously.
He's just wearing his little suit.
Now, that's a fan, right?
Yeah, well, it'll be a fan, or maybe it's the actual KFC mascot. Like, now, we called Kyle Connor KFC for so long that it basically, fans just refer to him as KFC. And then the guys that ran the Chiron at the building when they scored, they would put up, and they did it in a way to not be total copyright infringement, but it was like his face on a bucket rolling around the Jumbotron with KFC. And then I think there was probably maybe some lawyers or something that got involved. And then they said, wait a second, there's a much better way of doing this. And now they're a big sponsor. They're in the building. You can get tendies and fries.
That's brilliant. I love it.
KFC. They're now doing some stuff with us, promoting it. So they're going all in on this. So anyways, I mean, for the player goals, Connor's plus 111. I love that. I'm going to put that in actually on a WST parlay. Jets to win, Connor to score. The point props are probably pretty low for Scheifele minus 279. Although we could be looking at an over. Scheifele and Connor over 1.5 each is an interesting one. Plus 153, plus 180. I don't mind an Iafallo point at minus 107. Maybe I'll add that to the Kyle Connor. And then where's our guy Adam Lowry, who always seems to get a point in the playoffs. Well, maybe throw something in for the Adam Lowry line as well. But Lowry and Tanev. But yeah, Kyle Connor to score plus 111 tonight. Jets at minus 192. And I guess the game ended up, with the empty netter. It was way over. Don't be surprised if this one is more to the under today. And I mean, it's minus 143 at under 5.5. So they're certainly expecting a much tighter, low-scoring game than we saw in game number 1 with both goalies given a few up.
Our parlay is up already. If you go to the combo cards, you have to scroll. There's a lot going on over there today. Good job from Coolbet. They got it up already. Went from plus 429 to plus 493. Caps puck line and Colorado, Dallas, I guess, on the money line in that game at plus 493. Quickly, I do want to hop over quickly before we preview WST to the NBA. Clippers Nuggets game 2 tonight. Game 1 of the Clippers Nuggets series was phenomenal. I expect the entire series to kind of be similar. I'm looking at a Michael Porter Jr. bounce back game. He only had 3 points. He wasn't on the court at the end of the game. You can get Porter over 12.5 points at minus 125. He's cleared that in like 11 of his last 12 games. Just sort of had a dud game in game 1 and decided to go Westbrook down the stretch. But I think there's a bounce back game coming from Michael Porter Jr. and just over 12.5 points, minus 125. That'd be the play there. As for that game, it's basically a pick 'em. It's minus 111 for the Clippers, slight favorite on the road against the Nugs. I don't know. You probably didn't watch any of that game, Huss, but it was a really good basketball game. I'm excited to keep tabs on that one tonight.
I saw the highlights.
Great game.
Yeah, so I mean, I love the Nugs. It's kind of bizarre to see them as underdogs
at home.
I mean, I'll ride with the Joker in a scenario like this. I guess, do we think the Pistons have any chance against the Knicks or no?
Well, it was weird because the Pistons were up in that game. I watched a bit of that game too. The Pistons were up, and then the Knicks in the fourth quarter went on a 21-0 run. They scored 21 straight points. They were down 98-90, and then they were up 111-98. So phenomenal run at the end of that game. I don't know if the Pistons bounce back on the road here immediately in game two. Those are the only two games tonight in the association.
Can I get an official statement on game one between the Lakers and the
Slightly worried. Not going to lie. Couple of things. Luka was great, but didn't allow the rest of the team to get into it early. Like, he took like 12 of the first like 19 shots. And he's just like, you got to get Dorian Finney-Smith, Hachimura, Austin Reeves, these guys into the game. But he was great, but I'd like to see, he only had one assist in the entire, I'd like to see him distribute a little bit more early in the game to get the entire team going. And defensively, they were just out. At one point, Minnesota was shooting like 68% from beyond the arc. You're just not going to beat a team when they do that. Like, you got to defend the 3-point better. So, but I'm a little worried. Like, Anthony Edwards is a dog. He didn't even have a huge game. And, they got some bigs that caused some problems. But like Naz Reid shot 80%. Does he shoot 80% again? Likely not. But it felt good the first two games of both those series for that over 5.5 play in both the Clippers and Lakers series. So that feels pretty good right now. But slightly concerned. Not going to lie.
Well, the good thing for you is that you got Oilers tonight and then Lakers tomorrow
night. This is a perfect schedule. It's when they're playing the Kings.
Yeah.
There's no overlap. It's perfect. What's going on with WST?
Go down to LA.
I know. This might have been the window. I want to get down there for a game, but we'll see. What's coming up at WST, buddy?
We're just all over tonight's game two. Canada Life Center. Andy Strickland is going to join us. We'll have Mike McIntyre jump on. We've got a ton of reaction and feedback from the game on Saturday, and just continuing to count down with all the excitement around Winnipeg to another night in the whiteout tonight downtown. It should be fun. And 5 minutes from now over on Winnipeg Sports Talk, pop by and say hi.
All right. And we have Oil Stream coming up right away. A big one as we get you set for game one. And also for those of you who are familiar with the Buffet Bandit, as we've been describing Tommy lately, we've got a song that somebody put together for the Buffet Bandit. So we're going to debut that on the Oil Stream today as well, which should be a lot of
buffet these days.
Oh, Tommy's been crushed. He's been crushing buffets, finishing other people's meals. It's quite the run that this guy's on. So yeah. That's a big playoff controversy around here, Huss. Anyway, we'll have more on that on the Oil Stream coming up right away at noon. And then, we've got you covered, live coverage all the way up till puck drop tonight, just after 8 o'clock. Winnipeg Sports Talk starting right away over on the WST channel. For Huss, I'm Dusty. Thank you very much for joining us today. Best of luck tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on The Lock Shop.